Emma Jibe Gamigunk, Woody Kia St. Francis and the Shinabu in the Kadik. Minuanga, me de wig and meanwhile you negamojik bijawad the bijawad the abijika deg you manidugi doing the nisido in dagok you kicking away or kick away on the shinabe oma geabe yag in the shinabe in the kid gate udanag minuan ne dawe ne ashing miu kidoyan minoa miu maniduk Gildapa Najiginu Saman Midashama Geji Mushkine Jigazura and Dupaganan Midashama Geji Madabusira Sama Gawaning Goji Answayapa Sina Sama Gikino Adabi and Doan Gilmaniduk Minoagae Mio Basic Manadu Giganan Asian monk Dago dapano awa sema gishpinda shijwanichige yange maga ijwani gijwe yangoma minoage maga yawane brebenege yangoma uma gate udainang magjago dago joena mongo nijipe mazik minoa nijinishna bemag denisido tamawada ani kea pitain dagwak de chika degi u anishna beo kikewe onoma minoage inki udapana sema ga mijira basic QNZ jimaga nishina bewene kazud minua mi uep tenda go te kedongoma mewa go nishina be moyan minua mewa go anege kendaman nishina be moyan minua nishina be twawan gipin de gewa Gipinde gewag, Neboa Nishinabeg, Neboa Gate Nishinabe Banigoma, Gate Udanang, Minwa Nedawa Neashing, Imam Medewiganing, Migo Gainin, Deji Binde Gayan, Imam Medewiganing, Midashama Geji Nistidu Taman, and Miu Mede Bemadiziwen, Miu Gayabi Ayag. You bimadiziwen you got minagu wizard or Nishinabe Oma Nishinabe wa king mino Jiboy wa king miu nistado taman you got kinu mauriad ingu Nishinabe gate Nishinabe ingu niche amenanik magjago tibishko go basic kiwenzi ban a mikugabu ban mino wasabi kweban Nebo Nishinabe and Kikinu Maguk, the Nisido Taman and Nishinabe Moman, Minua Nishinabe Twawan, Miu Ge Anuki Magak, Iu Wakakanu Nitiwa don't go Nijipema Zig, Minua de Chigadegi, O Kikiduan, O Kikiwe Onoma, Midashama Nigan, Midashama Nigan Magago. Dayag Medewegan Oma Gate Udainang Magjago Ema Nedawe Neashing Magjago Inki Wina Maga or Niganimus Magjago the Sawan and New Gate Nishanabe Bani Nema St. Francis the Ajay Sawat Nam Eman Nedawa Neashing Minua Midashama Geji Shingishinawadi Ingu Gate Nishanabe Banik Majago Misago Minik and Way 2 and Ga Nika Nutamage Uma Gagigi Doyan. So I get asked to open these kinds of ceremonies up and the only reason why I understand some of my language and I understand some of my culture is because that the vets that are standing here today, they asked me a long time ago to go learn my language, to go learn my culture so I could do this for my people. And that's why I'm here today to be able to speak my language and be able to speak for things like this. It's because the Ogitchadog, that's what they asked of me to do that, and I responded, and I went out and learned from elders and learned from those elders that know Ojibwe and that know the Ojibwe culture. And I mentioned some of them here, Mikogabwe Bun and Wasabikwe Bun. Those are two prominent elders in our Ojibwe community that have led me to this point in my life where I'm able to speak for stuff like this. And so I spoke for everything that's going to happen here today for the Fond du Lac Band. I addressed we call them Maniduk. In Ojibwe, there's no really good translation for Maniduk. Some people translate that as spirits. Some people translate that as a mystery because we don't really understand what that is to the full extent, what those beings are. But I acknowledge those spirits that are going to accept this tobacco and help these Ogitchadog to bring in this flag so that the flag can be here and that everybody in Gete Udena, if you guys didn't know that's the name of Superior in Ojibwe, that they understand and that they recognize and they understand the significance of putting our Ojibwe flag here today. And then I spoke for our drum members, our singers and drum. They play a very spiritual role in Ojibwe culture. They use what we call a Maniduk, and that's a spirit talk. That's a higher form of prayer. And they're going to sing this song so that we can place this flag here and this flag can stay here and be recognized here in Gete Udena in Superior. And then I spoke for the next item on the agenda. Nigani Moose had asked for me to speak for the item that's further down the agenda for St. Francis and Wisconsin Point. So I acknowledge the spirits and I acknowledge the Maniduk that are going to accept this. And I explained one thing, that the Ojibwe people, we have for centuries practiced our religion and our culture here in the Lake Superior region, all from migrating here from the East Coast. And what we brought with us was what we were given to us as Anishinaabe people, what we were given from the spirits, and that's the Midday Wigan, that's the Midday Lodge, and the Ojibwe people practiced that here in Gete Udenang along that point, and people used to go into the Midday Lodge along that point and practice that and become part of what we call as the Midday Society. And we used to do that here, and that's how important it is to us, because up until 1978, that was against the law for us to practice that religion and practice offering our tobacco and doing these types of things. And I spoke for all the city council here and took this tobacco and asked them what to do to help you guys and help understand how significant this is to Ojibwe people of this region. How miigwech?
Hey! Shut. Present arms. Order arms.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Honor Guard, and visitors and guests, I just want to express my deep appreciation and quite frankly my honor that we get to host your flag in the chambers of the Superior and Douglas County Government Center. This is a place of sovereignty. This is the sovereign lands of the people of Fond du Lac, the people of the United States, the people of Wisconsin, and the people of the city of Superior. And all of those flags should be duly represented here. I hope you'll treat this flag as an invitation to join us as we make decisions on behalf of all of us at any of our future meetings. But whether you do or you don't, your flag will always be here. Thank you.
Item 6.1 is the mayor's report.
So thank you again to everybody that's joined us. My report is very brief. Mostly I want to mention, counselors, that we have had the first issues-setting meeting for Superior Days, and that event will look different again this year. So you'll recall we had a very brief virtual Superior Days in the spring. But as the legislative season winds down, we are planning to actually visit Madison on October 12th and 13th. It will be a smaller event. We won't have most of the ceremony and large spectacle that we typically have for Superior Days. But I'd still like to invite all of you to attend. We'll have a few more planning meetings before that, but you can go to superiordays.com now and register. We should have issues posted fairly soon. I also wanted to mention that we had the deputy secretaries from the Department of Workforce Development in town today for a listening session, particularly to address a job shortage. If you'd like to reach out, if you missed that and would like to reach out to them with concerns or ideas on how to address the very large amount of job openings that we have in the city of Superior right now, they invited that. I can help put you in contact with them. That is my report, unless there are questions.
Item 7.1 pertains to the Finance Committee meeting held on July 8th. Is there a report from the chair?
Yes, thank you. A few items we dealt with, the Billings Park Civic Center lease and funding, and we're still in the process of dealing with that, and we'll handle that aspect a little later. Golf courses report, they're doing well. They've had some record times, so things are going well at the golf course. Our audit is, as you may, if you read it, is going to be available within the month, and it looks like we have a $1.5 million surplus. Our payroll and the payroll department, the finance is moving along well. This is a tedious process. We have to get it right. So it takes time. Everyone wants to be done with it and up and running, but it takes a lot of work and going back and double checking. So they're continuing adding divisions or to the payroll, and so it's working well, but it just takes time, and we can't. I don't think we can rush it. We just got to do this right and get all the bugs out. And there are more things than we think that we didn't realize how big a process it is, but. It's coming along, and we will finance the department. We'll do it well. We maybe Ashley would like to speak to this. We received our bonding notification, and so Ashley, you just want to speak to that for a second?
Yeah, there was a sale today for the refinancing of some debt. The original pre-sale report, there was a prediction to save $286,000 in interest, and the bids came in even better than we hoped. And I don't know if you were able to get a chance to look at that report in front of you tonight yet, but the now realized savings in interest, assuming you guys pass the resolution tonight, is a little over $407,000. So, an excellent result.
We can entertain more questions about that when the resolution comes forward.
That concludes my report.
Okay, councilors, the only action item from the Finance Committee was to approve the amendment to the Billings Park Civic Center lease agreement. Just today, we heard from the Billings Park Civic Center. They want to make a couple of last-minute adjustments. I believe they're mostly procedural, shouldn't be too big of a deal, but nonetheless, I'd like to postpone that until the next council meeting so we can present complete and agreed upon document.
I will make that motion.
The motion is by Counselor Sweeney, second by Counselor Elm to postpone item 7.1, item 1, the Billings Park Civic Center lease agreement until the next council meeting. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 7.2, Human Resources Committee, meeting held June 30th. Is there a report from the chair?
Yes, there is. Due to the rapid personnel changes taking place in the city clerk's office, including pending retirement of our current city clerk, effective in September, the subsequent hiring of the current city clerk technician to fill the city clerk position. And if you recall, councilors, we did approve that at our July 6th council meeting. And then the recent resignation of the deputy clerk. Due to those issues, we held a special Human Resource Committee meeting on June 30th to revise the job descriptions for both the deputy clerk position and the city clerk assistant technician position, and to approve the request to fill both positions. Both positions are currently being advertised with closing dates. I actually believe the closing date for the deputy clerk was today, and then the closing date for the city clerk assistant technician is July 26th. And hopefully we're getting a good pool of candidates, and we'll have the positions filled in short order to keep our office running at its usual efficient manner. Thank you.
Unless there are questions,
Item 7.3, Public Works Committee, met on July 1st. Is there a report from the chair?
Just briefly, thank you. In looking at the agenda, I would just ask the council to just consider item 1, and we can read the ordinances separately at the end. This is a busy time for Public Works, as you all know. The traffic control has been removed from the East Second project, but we promised to put them back up around Labor Day to get the permanent traffic signals in, as well as the work over the bridge. President Elm and I have also scheduled a meeting with Director Janigo and Chief Alexander to discuss a more comprehensive approach to traffic management, particularly in terms of speeding. I hope there's been some relief in South End now that people probably aren't cutting through there as much, but the broader point is speeding in the city is an every single day complaint, and we have to do a better job between the communication, the enforcement, design of Public Works and public safety, and how we can better meld those departments in real time out in our community. That being said, I would ask the council to approve item 1, the bus service agreement with the Duluth Transit Authority as amended. Councilors will probably recall that this was announced late last week by Mayor Payne, where the DTA is going to play a larger role in getting kids safely to school. Thank you.
is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
The motion is by Councilor Van Sickles, second by Councilor Bender to approve the bus service agreement with the Duluth Transit Authority. Is there discussion? Councilor Sutherland.
I just got a quick question. I don't know if I would address this to Councilor Van Sickle or Mayor Payne. Just out of curiosity, when we amend agreements like that with the true value, does that have to go through finance, or is something that, what is the cost of it? If it's something very little, that's fine too. I just want to know.
Yeah, the cost was very minimal and speculative because there's no formal cost. The agreement is to cover the cost of services. However, how our agreement is structured is whenever anybody pays a fare to ride the bus, that money, if that's in the city of Superior, that money belongs to the city of Superior and is applied to our overall costs for the DTA. So we don't actually spend anything for this amendment. There's the possibility that we could lose revenue if there's people that were regularly riding the bus and they and they were students, and now they would ride the bus for free, we would lose that revenue. But we have an estimate. Director Putz, what was the estimate for that amount? It was fairly insignificant.
It was. I don't remember the exact amount, but I think it was no more than a few thousand was the estimate for an annual loss of revenue.
So again, we won't pay for new riders. We just wouldn't get that revenue. So for that reason, mass transit falls under Public Works in their budget and transportation.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Then, councilors, I'm just going to ask the clerk. Item number 2, all of these ordinances relate to the same goal. They all address accessible parking, or the wording of accessible parking. So I'm going to ask the clerk to read the title of each and then ask you to consider them as a group, since they all accomplish the same thing, if there is no objection. Go ahead.
Ordinance 214240, amending Traffic Code Schedule J, accessible parking zones. Ordinance 214241, amending Traffic Code Schedule K, accessible do not block sidewalk zones. Ordinance 214242, amending Traffic Code Section 112-251, penalties for accessible parking zones. Ordinance 214243, amending Section 46.2, elections, compensation of election inspectors. Ordinance 214244, amending Section 112-60, procedure for creating accessible parking zones.
What is your pleasure on the ordinances? Second. Motion is by Councilor Ludwig, second by Councilor Sutherland to adopt all of the read ordinances. Again, this just adopts new wording for relating to accessible parking. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 8.1, Commercial Sexual Exploitation Commission met on June 18th. Is there a report from the chair?
The chair, I don't think, is here, but I mean, I can mention what was in the minutes. One of the big changes in the June meeting is just the request to name the change the name of the commission to Human Trafficking Task Force Commission. Essentially, why that would be changed would be there's other trafficking issues other than just sex trafficking, such as labor trafficking. We also finalized the commission's mission and goals, so that's basically the update that I have. Thanks.
Questions? And we'll move to new business.
Item 10.1, City Clerk Kalan is recommending approval of miscellaneous licenses.
Second.
Motion is by Councilor Sutherland, second by Councilor Bender. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 10.2, City Clerk Kalan recommending approval of an original Class B liquor and beer license for Jamrock Cultural Restaurant, LLC, located at 1901 Tower Avenue.
The motion is by Councilor Sutherland, second by Councilor Elm. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 10.3, City Clerk Kalan recommending approval to amend the premises of a Class B liquor and beer license for the Main Club located at 1217 Tower Avenue for a special event held September 3rd through September 6th.
I just want to note that Councilor Kern does not appear to be on the call anymore. I'll have that reflected in the minutes. And I'm sorry, who made the motion? Councilor Ledeen made the motion. Who made the second? Councilor Grasky made the second. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 10.4, City Clerk Kalan recommending approval to amend the premise of a Class B liquor and beer license for Jimmy's Saloon, LLC, located at 1812 Iowa Avenue for a special event on August 6th through the August 9th.
Motion is by Councilor Elm, second by Councilor Sutherland. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 10.5 is a resolution supporting the land transfer of Wisconsin Point Burial Ground to the Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, and the land transfer of the and the land transfer of the Ojibwe mass grave into federal trust, and the stewardship of both to the Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa.
Motion approved.
The motion is by Counselor Van Sickle. The second is by Counselor Ludwig, is where I was looking. Discussion. Counselor Van Sickle.
I would just ask the chair to read the resolution. I would request the chair to read the resolution.
I'm going to read the resolution, and then if you would grab the public comment. When I complete reading the resolution, we have some public comment, and I'll go to public comment. If there's no objection from the council, we'll complete that before discussion before the council. The resolution reads, whereas the City of Superior acknowledges people of Lake Superior as the original inhabitants of the land now known as Superior, Wisconsin, and the City of Superior supports Native voices, visibility, representation, art, and language preservation. And the city acknowledges an estimated 200 bodies were disinterred from the sacred burial ground on Wisconsin Point and transported to a mass grave at or near St. Francis Cemetery. And the city believes that the best caretakers of an indigenous burial site are the Anishinaabe people, who are the ethnic, cultural, familial, and spiritual heirs of the original people of Wisconsin Point. And the Superior City Council actively seeks and accepts guidance and leadership from tribal members and descendants, especially on issues related to Native history, culture, and social practice. And the Superior City Council continues to honor the principles expressed in our 2019 Indigenous Peoples Day Declaration. Therefore, be it resolved, the Superior City Council supports and directs the city administration to work towards the transfer of the known, current, documented boundaries of Wisconsin Point Burial Ground to the Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa. And be it further resolved, the Superior City Council supports the land transfer of the known, documented boundaries of the Ojibwe mass grave burial ground adjacent to St. Francis Cemetery into federal trust under the stewardship of the Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa. First person we have signed up to speak is Dr. Chantal Norgard. Dr. Norgard, if you would push the speaking button, it's the third from the left.
I'm dyslexic, so I don't know if right.
It looks like a person speaking. Next.
Oh, yes,
There
person
you go.
talking.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Bonjour, Ani, good evening. I'm Chantal Norgard.
I'm very sorry, Dr. Norgard. I forgot to remind the public that each speaker has no more than 3 minutes to speak.
So I start now?
You will start now. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Okay. All right. Well, bonjour, Ani, good evening. I'm Chantal Norgard, and I'm an assistant professor of First Nations Studies at UWS and a historian. I want to make a brief statement in support of the resolution you are considering and to speak directly to non-Indigenous people present as a descendant of settlers myself. The resolution to return the land to Fond du Lac Ojibwe is not about recognizing a past event or even just about that we are on Indigenous lands, but that the United States and U.S. Steel representing settler interests removed Ojibwe people and their ancestors from Indigenous lands, and that we are here because of this process of dispossession. We have a responsibility and an opportunity to recognize this history and return something that was forcibly taken from Ojibwe people. To say that the city of Superior was built on Ojibwe lands would be a vast understatement. The city of Superior is here because of the dispossession of Ojibwe lands. It was the cession of Ojibwe lands in the treaties in 1837, 1842, and 1854 that made it possible for Superior and the surrounding region to grow, while, as Charles Clellan estimates, approximately 98.7% of Ojibwe lands were lost, and more after allotment. Superior was incorporated as a city in September of 1854, the same month and year that the federal government negotiated the 1854 treaty, which designated reservations for Lake Superior Ojibwe. Superior became a bustling port and hub because of its prime location on lands that had always been important to Indigenous people. It profited from the movement of vast amounts of timber and mineral resources to the city, made possible through land cessions in all three of the treaties. When the U.S. Steel Company hired workers in 1918 to remove Ojibwe remains or ancestors from Wisconsin Point to make way for a series of docks that it never actually built, Ojibwe people in the area were living under incredibly difficult circumstances. We can only begin to realize the grief that this event caused for
30
Fond du Lac
seconds,
people.
please.
They never forgot this history, but we have, and I know this all too well because of how few of my students have an idea of what happened. I would like to ask that we set aside the way things are normally done to follow Indigenous protocols and to prioritize the needs of Indigenous people over non-Indigenous interests. It's our job to recognize and reckon with our own colonial
Sorry, Dr.
baggage.
Norgard, that's 3 minutes.
That's it. Miigwech.
I'm sorry, I have a motion from Councilor Sullivan to... Is there a second? Second. Is there objection? You may finish.
Thank you. So I would like us to set aside our own baggage, our own colonial baggage, to follow Indigenous protocols and to return this land. It's our job to recognize and to reckon with our own colonial baggage so that we can do what is right. Miigwech, thank you.
Thank you. Next on the list to speak is Lynn Gert.
Do I need to push anything?
No, you're good.
It's already pushed. Okay. Thank you. Good evening, city councilors, mayor, staff, and members of the Fond du Lac band who are here. I am here as an educator in the community. I'm a professor at UW Superior, co-worker of Dr. Norgard. And as you know, UWS is located in land that we recognize as in land of the Ojibwe people. I came to the Twin Ports actually after living in Sitka, Alaska since age 3, where my family were settlers of that community. And during my own college years, I became aware of how little I knew about the indigenous history in my own region of Southeast Alaska. And not only how little did I know, but how much misinformation that I knew. And it shaped my warped view of my perspective of who I was and my perspective of my community. And it led to many major blunders over my life, particularly my young adulthood. And I made a commitment decades ago to undo as much misinformation as I could, and also to take the initiative to learn about the critical history, both of my own community, but of the new community that I moved to. And I could see that I wanted to have a positive impact on my community, and in order to do that, I needed to understand it. I needed to understand the culture. I needed to understand the history and the fabric of the community. To honor this commitment, early on in my time here in the Twin Ports, I actually participated in a day-long experience that was facilitated by Dr. Tom Peacock and Betsy Peacock, former professors of the University of Minnesota Duluth, and they actually took a group of us on a bus tour of the Twin Ports to places of important significance to the Ojibwe people. And one of the most important significant parts of that day was the visit to Wisconsin Point and to the cemetery where the Ojibwe mass grave is located. And that day was about reverence, it was about contemplation, it was about connection. I was really moved, and I was very upset by what I witnessed, and the cultural, human, family, community tragedy that I had my eyes set on. That day has influenced my 15 plus years of teaching. I particularly teach courses at the university level about policy. Very few of my students, like Dr. Norgard mentioned, knows anything about the treaties of 35, 37, 1842, 1854, major disruptions to ways of sustaining life. The annuity payments, all of this rich history that was also included in the packet of the meeting
I'm sorry,
agenda.
Professor, that is 3 minutes.
Okay.
Is there objection? You can finish.
Okay. I support this resolution, of course. It's a decision above, I think, a municipal decision, but one that you have in front of you here now. I hope that this historic step is a trajectory of responsibility that will reinforce the importance of assuring this base level of knowledge that I think both Dr. Norgard and I recognize that doesn't exist with the students that I have in my classes. We need to do a better job of people understanding this rich historic and contemporary knowledge that is necessary for all of us to have. So I encourage you to vote in support of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Next is Mr. Tom Bridge.
Hi, I'm Tom Bridge. I am at 3808 East 3rd Street. I'm the current and actually only chair the Wisconsin Point Committee has ever had. I've been involved with Wisconsin Point for a very long time. I was counselor of the 2nd District, where Councilor Van Sickle is currently in office right now, from 2002 to after the election in the spring of 2013. Not to get into too much detail, I don't think about what has been done in the past or how we got to the point that we are. I was just looking at past Superior Days agendas, and the 2012 Superior Days, which I thought it was actually before that, was credited with the long-term plan for Wisconsin Point, and it was about that time, possibly a couple years before that, that the coalition of all the stakeholders was put together to try and get some attention for Wisconsin Point. Bringing it to the state was the first thing to do. Getting everybody together in the same room to talk about what were the right things to do for Wisconsin Point was the biggest accomplishment, I think, of the trips to Superior Days. It brought local attention. It's made a huge difference in the appearance of the point and how the land is taken care of. And we've gotten to a point that I could never have imagined we would, being here this evening. I certainly can't speak because this hasn't come in front of the committee for all the committee members, though I can not imagine that anybody would be opposed to anything in this resolution. I wholeheartedly support it. I don't necessarily believe that we can right the wrongs of the past, but we can take steps forward and in the right direction from now forward. And that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Finally, Pastor Victor St. George.
My name is Victor St. George. I'm the pastor at Zion Lutheran Church in Superior, Wisconsin. I'm also an enrolled member of the Fond du Lac Band of the Lake Superior Chippewa Tribe and a descendant of Osage, who was a primary mover, leader of the Fond du Lac Band settlement on Wisconsin Point. And I had a friend who was in the Dakotas this weekend as they were bringing the remains of the children from the Carlisle Indian School in Pennsylvania back home. And I think that I think it's time to bring ours back home too. And I'm just speaking in favor of this. I want to also thank Councilor Van Sickle for your work on this. This is something that I think needs to be done. We're never going to right the wrongs that were done, but we can at least honor what should be. If we can't make it right, we can honor what should be. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak to the resolution from the public? Mr. Chairman, please.
Bonjour. Good evening. My name is Kevin Dupe. I'm the Fond du Lac chairman, and I'd like to make it brief as possible. I came home from the Marine Corps in 1990, and approximately every month since I've been home from the Marine Corps, I'd visit Wisconsin Point and St. Francis Cemetery. Sometimes I don't know why, but I know with the schedule that I have, if I'm free on a Monday or Tuesday, I'm on my way to Wisconsin Point and St. Francis Cemetery. But I know that when you get there, you feel a piece of ease, if that makes any sense to anybody. And a lot of comments have been made over the years, and a lot of direction and thought process to where we should be going. But where we're at right now, there's things that we cannot change, and we may not be able to make a right from the wrongs. But one thing for sure is I see is the grasp of hope. And anytime that you have hope at the table, we're trained and we told to grab that hope as the best as we possibly can, and to move into the future and to do the things that we believe is the right thing to do. But one thing for sure, this is going to have some kind of closure and resolve to the families of Wisconsin Point, the descendants and their relatives. And to move forward in the way that we should move forward, it's not about the atrocities that happen. That's part of it. We know that that's history, and it's not going to change. And it's a dark history. But we need to be optimistic in where we're sitting today and move forward with different things and try to find a way and recognize and realize that we're all humans. This is an act of humanity. And that's where it should go and continue to go. There really isn't much more that I can say about this except that I'm grateful for meeting Jenny and meeting the mayor and have the city council and then visit Wisconsin Point for their community day, which was really interesting to me. But from this point on, I think that as long as we can look at one another, whatever color of our skin is, whatever our ethnicity is, whatever our religious background is, and that we realize or recognize that we're human beings and we're here for the long haul. And to the Reverend's point, if that's correct, as a Reverend, it's happening daily. Remains are being removed, and we all understand what happened in Canada. And it's something that we have to recognize that existed. But from this point on, to get some kind of closure, to get some kind of resolve to it, with the understanding that it is here in front of us. No matter what happened to the past, it's in our laps. And we have to take care of it and just continue to move forward. So again, miigwech, on behalf of the Fond du Lac Band, miigwech.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak? Is there anybody else who would like to speak to the resolution? If not, debate is open for the council. Discussion. Councilor Van Sickle, your light is still on? Is there any other discussion from the council? Councilor Van Sickle.
Thank you, Chair. I want to first thank the Honor Guard. Thank you for ceremony. Miigwech, thank you for your service to this country. I want to thank our elders for being here. I see you, Colleen. I see your daughter, Patty. I see your granddaughter. She drove a long way. Looking out into this audience is like, well, it's actually a family reunion, right? No food. What? But if I can, it's also like looking at my own family. You guys have been so kind to me, and I almost feel like, where's Uncle Bob? I don't see him. Because I want him to be proud of me and the work that we're doing here today. My mentor, Xavier Bell, told me, you can't unknow what you know. Indigenikas, Jenny Van Sickle, Klinkit at the Baskin, Sheet Kakwan, Kiksari Yech, Gajahin, which means, I am from the water, Raven clan of the Sun House, Frog Crest. Monumental work takes monumental work. Miigwech, Kevin. I'm really glad I met you too. We're building a strong foundation across governments, state lines, across cultures, across generations, one of trust, humor, respect, and friendship. That's not always been the case between the Lake Superior bands and the city of Superior, or government, right? Thank you to our elders. Thank you to the RBC. Thank you to the descendants who have been generous with their time and their stories. To my colleagues on the Wisconsin Point Committee, Chair Tom Bridge, Tom Howes, Fond du Lac. Without your support, getting to today would have taken much longer. To Mayor Payne, who, after listening to me rant about this for a long time, called my bluff and made the initial call to St. Francis. I couldn't turn back after that. Thank you to Father Tobalski, their trustees, their parish council, for their swift and supportive response. To everyone in Madison, Milwaukee, and everybody all over the country that's probably real tired of my emails, at the Wisconsin Historical Society, who has helped collect and coordinate deeds, maps, and have helped recover the names of those who were moved to the cliff side. We hear bodies a lot. These people had names, and now this council looks their family in the eye. Meg Witch, Dr. Troyer, and Terry White, who listened to me when the work felt dark. I've seen some of the strongest people I've ever known double over in pain going through this work, going through these documents. Sue Heskin, the librarians, an absolute army. Jason, Allison, and Jeff in planning, thanks for being all in. Camila, thanks for keeping all of the records organized and safe. They're here now, permanently. You don't have to track them down. They're here with the City of Superior. To those that came before us, Gunakuchish. There is no finality in this resolution. There is a lot of work ahead at the state level. I want to thank Representative Milroy for being here and making the connections with the Preservation Board. I want to thank Senator Baldwin's office, who is also here. Both of these systems have been working overtime simultaneously just to get to this stage. I know it's been a heavy list. Thanks to your ledge team. This is not the end of our responsibilities to our neighbors, Fond du Lac. This is the beginning of something fresh, of something real, and I could not be more proud to be a part of this work with you. And if it feels right to hear Indigenous language in this chambers, that's because it's about time. Counselors, I ask that you join me in voting yes. Thank you.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed say no. The motion carries. We do have just a bit more business, and I apologize, it's going to be a bit dull, but we'll move fast. Please.
Item 10.6, a resolution providing for the issuance, sale, and delivery of 4,250,000 in general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2021B of the City of Superior, Wisconsin, establishing the terms and conditions therefor, directing their execution and delivery, creating a debt service account therefore, and awarding the sale thereof.
Motion is by Counselor Elm, second by Counselor Bender. Is there discussion? Again, just a reminder, this is the bond issuance and refinance that Chairman Sweeney was referring to. So if there are any further questions or discussion, hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. The motion carries. Yeah, we'll have the minutes note that Counselor Kern has rejoined the meeting and participated in 10.6.
Item 10.7, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Superior, Wisconsin, approving execution of a development agreement, grant agreement, and lease agreement in connection with the Fraser Shipyards Incorporated project. Form of development agreement and form of grant agreement.
Motion is by Counselor Bender, second by Counselor Sutherland. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 10.8, a resolution authorizing the filing of an application with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for a grant under the Harbor Assistance Program.
Motion is by Counselor Bender, second by Counselor Elm. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion carries, and we have no further business. Thank you, councilors.
Mayor,
I'm sorry, before we adjourn, Counselor Kern?
I just want the record to reflect that I was on for the Wisconsin Point resolution as well.
The minutes will reflect that. Sir?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further business? Then we are adjourned.